Yeah, why she got balls enough to come out and ask us?
You got to watch your mouth or you're going to be kicked out of here.
What?
You understand?
What was wrong with that?
Have is Dongus Properties LLC, Natalie Dongus versus Freddie Whistler, James Whistler, and any other occupants. The case number is Butler County 24 LM 1361. Ms. Dongus appears in person. Mr. Whistler also appears in person and pro se. Ms. Dongus, as the petitioner, I see that you have sought, from what I'm understanding, restitution of the property and some damages. Can you please explain to the court specifically what it is that you're seeking at this snapshot in time?
So can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we purchased this property in 2019, basically 2020, and we have had to, just like the whole rest of the world, raise our rents because you got to be able to afford them. We have asked Mr. Whistler repeatedly to catch up on his rent, and he has chose not to do it. He gets very belligerent and cusses us out, doesn't make actual threats except that he's going to call the cops on us. So we really I'm just trying to get him to pay his rent and pay it on time, but he won't do it. So he has told me that he sent me a note saying that he'll get us the money, but he has to pay through money orders until his bankruptcy goes through. I've never been served a bankruptcy on it. And anyway, I've asked James, his son, to help pick up the rent and to help his dad get it going. But it appears like that hasn't happened either. It's not a huge amount of money, but it is a mobile home. And that's the property that needs to be removed and my property returned, which is the lot. And so, so far I have not, they could have come and got it caught up, and they chose not to, and said we're here in court when it's just this piddly amount of money that they owe. It's $768.39 now because we've had more rent go by since I filed. And I've never charged them late fees. If I did, they would owe another $665 on late fees. So I just want them to do what they need to do, Your Honor.
Okay.
Pay their debt.
All right. And are both Freddie and James present?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And just in a general way, I'm going to inquire, and I don't know if Ms. Dongus is willing to do this. I don't know if you want to do this, but an option that we have at this point is I could have my colleague put you into essentially a virtual meeting room. If there were anything that you thought needed to be said to Ms. Dongus outside of the hearing of the court, or she to you, we could have that meeting set up if you would like to.
Is she on there?
Yes.
If I don't owe her a damn thing, if she don't get out there, get that kid of hers out there, get rid of the cockroaches and the stinking water that we got, I'm not paying her nothing.
Okay. Well, I guess the other question I have then is, if there's apparently no common ground to be found, are you wanting to have a hearing on this question, or are you just telling the court that you're intending just to leave?
What was that? Say that again, please.
Are you wanting to have a hearing on this matter at this time, or are you telling the court you just want to leave?
Yeah. What? I don't understand what he's talking about.
Yes, if you want to have a hearing about it, or if you're telling the court you just want to leave.
Well, she's gonna straighten things out first. The daggum cockroaches, I'm gonna call the health department on them. I'm tired of it. We can't eat in the house without the cockroaches crawling all over you. And the water stinks so damn bad you can't stand and smell it.
Well, I would ask you please not to use any bad language in court, sir. I know it doesn't feel much like a court when we're doing it by Zoom, but we're nevertheless in court. Well, I'm understanding that you do want to have a hearing on this question, so I will swear in Miss Dongus. She can tell her side of the story and with her final request, and then you can tell your side of the story as well. Certainly, if you have questions for Miss Dongus, you're welcome to ask those after she's finished speaking, and so too could she ask you questions when you're finished as well. Ms. Dongus, can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in the cause now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, if you go ahead and formally explain what's happened and what you're wanting today.
Okay. Yes, I really just want them at this time to pay the rent or to leave. There's not much else to say. I've given them notice after notice after notice to get it caught up. I believe that Mr. Whistler has not paid because he didn't like the fact that we raised our rents. And I'm sorry, but life happens and we do have to raise rents. And I have other things I have to pay for, like insurance and taxes. And I'm not sure if they understand that, but that does have to happen and I have to do it. I have to pay the water bill at that park. And it is rural water. There is nothing wrong with the rural water. So I do not believe that his water stinks. Now, does his mobile home stink like roaches? Absolutely it does. None of us want to walk near it. I'm shocked that they even want to live in it. And it was that way when I purchased my park. And it is their mobile home, not mine. They are responsible for taking care of their own roaches, not me. I had one more mobile home in that park that had them when I purchased the park. And we set it up that they pay for it and that they get it taken care of. And they did. Mr. Whistler chooses not to do anything like that. And that's his deal, not mine. But I am asking him. Also, we've also asked him to take care of the air conditioner. I'm not sure if they actually have any air conditioning in the home. I'll be honest, I turned this in to DCF because I believe that it's elder abuse, not abuse, but neglect, because he's living in there in a house full of roaches. You can smell it when you walk by the mobile home. There's no question. I've been a landlord too long. I turned him in because of the air conditioning and that he is not understanding that he is supposed to pay the rent. So there's something going on there that I believe James needs to step up and take care of, but it hasn't happened. And DCF also sent me back a request or a notice almost 2 hours after I turned it in, telling me they had already dismissed the case. And I'm sorry that they did that. I don't believe that was fair to Mr. Whistler. I have no hard feelings with Mr. Whistler. I believe that at this time in his life, he needs assistance. And that it would be his son that needs to step up and do that assistance. I take care of my parents, and I had to because they could no longer do it themselves. We all get to that point in life, and I believe that's where Mr. Whistler is right now. And I believe it is in their best interest to leave because of the nastiness of what they're living in. And that's what I have to say, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Whistler, either Freddie or James, do you have any questions of Miss Dongus?
Yeah, well, she got balls enough to come out and ask us.
You got to watch your mouth or you're going to be kicked out of here. You understand?
What was wrong with that?
Listen to the judge.
Well, listen to her talk.
If you have a question that's in line with Miss Dongus' testimony, you're sure welcome to ask it. But if you don't have any questions, that's okay too.
Well, she ain't allowed to talk in here and talk to her, so she ain't got.
Well, I'm anxious to hear what you have to say too, sir, but if you don't have any questions, the question I have is Miss Dongus is still apparently willing to allow you to catch up on the rent or continue. Do you wish to do that, or do you wish to go forward with this eviction hearing?
I'm not behind on the rent. She knows it. I don't get paid till the end of the middle of the month. She always gets it right the day after I get my check. I haven't got my check this month, so she's going to wait.
Okay.
If she wants to take it to court, take it to court.
Well, we're in court right now, and I'm going to be probably making a decision here pretty quick.
More than enough to go out here and talk to me face to face.
Okay. Well, if you don't have any questions and you don't have anything further, Ms. Dongus, I'll swear both Mr. Whistlers in to the extent both of you may give testimony. If you could raise your right hands, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in the cause now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I am.
All right. I'll start with you, James. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
According to his bank statements, we should be current on all payments except for April. That's the only one they have on us. But according to his bank statements, we do have rent paid.
You got 3 copies of April.
Okay. So you're saying that,
so if they're not getting the payments, I'm not exactly sure why. The last 2 months he has paid with money orders.
okay.
And I actually witnessed him paying with, and we do have receipts for those.
She makes her own rule to law.
Are you agreeing though that you did not make the April payment?
We made the April payment.
That's the only one that I see that we do not have record of.
We do have a record of it. We got 3 copies of it.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Freddie Whistler, do you have anything that you would like to say, sir?
Not now.
Okay.
You're allowed to say that in this court.
What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, there's been a lot of things touched upon here, and some of them may give the court a little bit of pause, but it seems like the main defense that is offered is that with the exception of April, which cannot be documented, you believed you were otherwise current on the rent. I don't know that I may have a copy of the lease. What is the monthly lease amount, Ms. Dongus?
Well, we read their water every month, and so that's added on, but there is it's $285 plus a base fee for the water, sewer, trash. That's $50, and then we add the other on. I would state that they do send money, but it's never the right amount. He just keeps paying $290 like for the last 3 months, and he owes $340. And so he's not paying it all. They do pay some. They just won't pay it all.
I'm looking at a sheet that you had submitted that kind of tallies the payment and the carryovers, and it looks like.
So the $335, that's the $285 plus 50. So that's the total of those two, and then we just add the water on.
We've been paying $290. Thinking she's smart enough to figure out where it went, but she ain't.
Well, I think that her records jibe with yours in that it looks like there was no payment made in April. And it looks like there were times when the rent, according to Ms. Dongus' calculations at least, was behind, and then a payment would be made, and the payment might catch it up, but it might not fully catch the balance up. And I think that that's where the amount, the 700, well, it was $19 at the time of the filing. It was a little bit more as expressed today. But I think that, first of all, I'm not sure there's any obligation for Ms. Dongus to have done anything vis-a-vis the cockroaches, but even if there were, the non-payment of rent isn't a remedy for that. And it seems that even by your own reckonings, there is a failure to make a payment in April. And I think that that sort of metastasizes over time with some water usage additions and more months following on. So I think that the allegation that you're behind on your rent and the request that the property be restored to Miss Dongus are prayers that I think that sufficient evidence has been presented that should be answered in favor of Miss Dongus. I will make that ruling. I will ask Miss Dongus that you prepare a order and a writ, and I'll look forward to reviewing those such as they become available. And we'll go from there. And Mr. Whistler, I don't know exactly when that paperwork will be available for the court's review, but it would be important for you to think about an alternative in terms of where you might take your mobile home. So with all that said, we are in recess. Thank you very much.
By certified funds. So, ma'am, do you have access to those funds?
All right, give me